what tech or transportation do you wish we had right now that you would probably, I don't know, strip to make enough money to buy?
I would probably want a host.
Oh, wait, you... I'm so unexpecting that, dude.
That's deep. I love it.
He got plans.
You're listening to the MCSFO podcast, where we speak one language, sci-fi.
So this whole series has a ton of tech and transportation and all that kind of good, yummy stuff, way more than the past 2 seasons because they were in a park and they only had like Western stuff. Now we have real sci-fi, real tech. So question for all of you guys, what tech or transportation do you wish we had right now that you would probably, I don't know, strip to make enough money to buy? And that's for me too, because y'all can strip too. But I'm saying, if you had enough money, how many jobs would you work? How many hours you put in to get this technology that you saw in the show?
I love flying, so that G5 panoramic jet, yo, that's me all day. I can see the sky and everything.
Yes, I agree. All right, next, Darian, which one do you think is best for you?
Yeah, I'll say one right now. I would probably want a host.
Oh wait, you. I'm so unexpecting that, dude.
That's deep. I love it.
He got plans.
We all know a pretty female Maeve host is what you
y'all know. At least
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah. Hey, that's honesty. I can't hate on that.
She give me too much back talk. I just go to my little tablet and I slide some dials. Dial that aggression down, baby girl.
I'm like,
Aggression
down.
Freeze on motor functions.
Freeze on motor functions. Until this show is over.
Wow.
Come back online.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Y'all are killing me. All right. Let's see. Who else? Tariq, did you go yet?
I want to know what those glasses actually tell. Because it seems like it can give holographic images or it can show you things. They haven't really been specific about it. I want those glasses, and I hopefully can, because I'm blind, so I need some better vision. So, you know what I mean? If it can really give me that 20/20 that I really need.
How about you, Lauren? What's tech that stood out for you?
I really like the ability to take my phone and put it, I don't know what that tablet is and everything, but it blows it up. I don't even know what it is.
Hologram? You mean, well, I don't know if they showed it I'm thinking of Minority Report does that where you can actually pull it from there and then put it in there.
Yeah, so I like the hologram aspect and I like the whole tablet because there's already the foldable technology too. I don't know how good it is though.
It ain't.
Yeah, it ain't like that yet. It ain't.
No, Samsung, yeah.
I feel like that with the hologram and being able to take how Charlotte would downloaded that information and just write it to the next place without even no plugins, no kind of like airdropping, but better.
Yeah,
you just want that because you hate the way we edit and how stuff don't actually work.
I hate the way. Look, I'm using 2 computers to edit because I'm doing on one and I got to send it to this one and then I got to send it. No, flute. That's all I need.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Michael, what's up? What do you think is your best tech? You think from the show or transportation? Either one.
The tech that I really love is the ability to, I guess, put yourself in a hologram form in any location you want. I think that is great. That technology is awesome. Yeah. We had talked about it, or I talked about it in our review of it, where it was kind of getting redundant to see Serac not be in a location where you thought he was. And it kind of reminded me of the mask technology in Mission Impossible, where they're always ripping off masks. It was kind of going over and over. But I do like the idea of just being like, oh, I got to go to a meeting. Boom, here's a camera here. You're able to pull yourself up. And I feel like it's almost virtual reality with a slash of augmented reality. I mean, like the implications for what it could do for video games, I think would be really cool. So yeah, I like that for sure.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about you, Leroy? Did you go already, Leroy? I can't remember.
No.
I would like the ability to play Grand Theft Auto in real life. 'Cause that's basically what Caleb was doing. I mean, he was literally he got off work and he was like, "Yo, all right, let's rob this bank." And I mean, Beast Mode showed up with Lena Waithe, and they was like, "Hey, let's get this money." I mean, it was just
that was dope.
That was dope.
The way everything was integrated, where like you could pick what kind of crime you wanted to commit. He was like, "I don't want to do personals," and he was like, "Hey, man, yeah, let's do this." And it was just like you can just be in and out. That whole idea, like, it took like the gig economy and made it like it just blew it up. So it's like whatever job, the little odd job, like we always are doing little side hustles, maybe editing stuff on the side, and just a way to just to be able to say, "Oh, I feel like doing this today." Like to me, and just the integration of the technology, and when you just like somebody asks you, "Hey, man, I'm just here to deliver this package." That was cool to me. That was just like, I'm not trying to.
Leroy, you know what? Leroy, you know what? I bet you they do have something like that in the dark web.
I mean, true.
And I bet you they have devices that only connect to the dark web that we probably don't even know about, and people are doing side jobs just like this. I bet.
Right.
And that was what I like seeing about the show, Amanda. You talked about just the whole idea of we theorize about this science fiction, just getting in the car and it shoots up in the sky, and you looking, the whole idea of just being able to be like, "Yo, nah, Mom, I got to do this job real quick," and then again, Beast Mode shows up with his little light up shirt. And
I do love his shirt though.
Gringos is my boy. I love it. Yeah.
And we knocking over Wells Fargo.
Right.
Oh wow.
I mentioned Wells Fargo because they took some of that small business loan money when they shouldn't have. So that's how I feel. Anybody out there listening?
How the hell is Wells Fargo a small business?
Right.
Son, Wells Fargo, Shake Shack, Ruth's Chris.
I was telling Tariq about Ruth's Chris. Yeah.
Shake Shack gave it back, but Ruth's Chris was like, "Nah, man, we gonna keep this."
They got what, 20 million, 30 million, something like that?
They got a gang of money.
And small business loan. Oh my God.
Ruth Chris Ruth Chris is publicly traded.
Yes.
Talking about a small business loan. Oh,
that's why I was like, terrible. "Yo, if you send me a link and they're like, 'Hey, man, you want to knock over Wells Fargo real quick?'"
Right.
I see the news and I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get this money real quick." I mean,
take my money, Leroy.
Hey, Leroy, did you peep too? They didn't even have to actually how in heist movies they normally have to lay low on the money for a few months, and then they have to launder it and stuff. But in this one, they just deposited it into the remote control car.
Yep.
And then he walked away, and 2 seconds later, he was like, "You have cash."
See what I'm saying? I was like, right. We're just playing Grand Theft Auto in real life. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Basically, that's Bitcoin.
Yep.
Bitcoin.
An advanced version of it.
Whoever wins crypto, Bitcoin, whatever all those cryptocurrencies, whatever, just let me play Grand Theft Auto in real life.
Yeah.
So I can make some extra money on the side.
Wow. Well, I have a short list of some stuff, some of which I can see getting pretty soon. Like it may not be that far off with some of this stuff. So the first thing I would love is the razor thin cell phone. That razor thin cell phone, every time they picked it up off the table and you heard that little sound, that little metal sound or whatever, I don't know. It was something, I just love that. I don't know if I would lose it every 5 minutes, so that would be my only problem. It just was, I mean, even though our phones now are like super thin, you know what I mean? But that's just a credit card. That was really thin.
Yeah, that was dope.
The phone I would get, I definitely want Dolores's autonomous bike. I gotta have that bike. I don't care if I don't get it until I'm 95, if I live that long. I want that bike. And
that bike is dope.
I want to buy Serac's Rohamum watch. With the circulative move, that watch was hot.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that HBO already has that on their merch site or something like that, because there's certain merch that I do know in the show that they probably already selling. But that watch, I just love that watch. I don't know if it's going to do the exact same thing like from the show because it does move. I think if it should, like by, I guess in time, it may get thicker. The circle may get thicker or something like that if it's like on the hour and then maybe
it could do that.
However, but that watch I love. I love the Transformer dress. I would love to go out and have a mini skirt 1 minute and then I'm going to something really nice and then be able to, people have done, fashion designers have done something similar where you have those dresses and you just pull something out. But this one looked definitely very different. So I would want that. The rideshare cars I think is great because if it's like a bunch of you and I think I saw in that rideshare car, it might seat up to 5 or 6 people. I saw a lot of little seats in there. So just being able to be in a cool rideshare with all your friends and then it's all glass and you can see, I just love the rideshare. I thought that was cool. Giggle's shirt, his mood shirt, is already out. Not with the full technology of it changing based on your mood, but you would have to swap each shirt out if you bought, because like it would say in white, it would be anger. And that's in white where the rest of the letters are grayed out. So they do have that actually out on the market now. So I'm definitely going to buy that like probably next week. Because I'm going to get that link in the link. But as far as the actual technology version, the tech version that changes with your mood, I don't know if I would want that one because I don't know. I don't think it would work the same way as like a mood ring and that's not accurate. So it would have to take your temperature and I'm kind of old school. I don't know if I want something monitoring me. I don't know what that would be like. Because if I'm happy or laughing really hard, it may think that I'm angry and I don't want that to come on a shirt or vice versa.
Maybe they did it just with an app though. Maybe if you could just program it on a phone and just say.
And that's the thing. Technically in the show, it picks up your emotions. I wouldn't want that if they would make it where you can choose, hey, you know what, I got this thing. The only problem is the shirt will get real funky, right? So if you're going to want to keep wearing the shirt all the time, that's going to get real funky. So swapping out shirts is probably the more easier about doing that because that one shirt you're gonna want to wear that every other day or when there's something going on and that's gonna get real funky real quick. But let's go ahead and dive right in because we spent a lot of time on other stuff, so I want to jump right in on some favorite lines and I'll start it off with these. So your favorite scene, your favorite line in this episode. So I'm going to run down my 5. I have 5.
Okay.
Right. So my favorite line is from Maeve, where she says when she first goes out into the army of the I can't say the name of the guys.
The Nazis.
The Nazis. Thank you. It couldn't come out. So she says, "Don't you know a lady likes a little warm up before you brandish your weapon on her." That was such a smooth line, and I wish I could say it as smooth as her. That was like my favorite. My favorite scene is when Dolores was in that fight scene with the brother in the elevator. When he didn't know and he got a word that it was her and they started fighting, I was laughing because it was just it was a testament to Tessa Thompson. She's such a phenomenal actress. And this particular episode in particular was just really all hers. Like they really gave it to her. And I think she can hold her own in an action movie. She don't need a sidekick. Tessa Thompson is strong enough where she can hold her own. But seeing her take this dude down in the elevator was just so funny to me. I mean, really ball busting, literally. And I just thought that was a very tight quartered scene for her to do that kind of hand-to-hand combat. So I would love to know how long it took her to do that scene, because it was just that's hard to do in such a closed quarter in the elevator. So the other scene that I really love is whenever she used her phone to break out the big guns, which I call them the Transformer mechs. But though that big robot, when she used her phone to call, I knew that's what she was doing. Because as soon as it popped up, I was like, oh, she's calling them. And I love that scene when it came out and crushed the other guys. I thought that was just really hot. My other favorite, line was when Maeve said to Serac, I want what Dolores has. When she said this, I was on pins and needles sitting at the edge of my seat because I'm like, finally, she's going to ask to get these chains off her neck and stop controlling me and ask for her freedom, which is crazy. And I hate to go there but we all Black, so I'm just going to say it. You shouldn't have to ask for your freedom, first of all. Right. But the fact that she ended up saying that she wanted help, the wind just came out of me, because I was like, out of all the things that y'all write for this woman to ask for, it would have probably, now mind you, I still would have been marching online about the fact that she had to ask for her freedom. If that was something that she would have said, I think I still would have liked for her to tell him there, like, hey, if you want me to take her down, you got to give me full control. Like, I can't do this with you constantly shutting me down, or, you know, I'm being killed at the drop of a hat where everybody else can take bullets like a real host can, but I can't. But for her to say that she just wanted help was kind of,
right.
We'll see what ends up happening. But for now, I'm still really ticked about that little bit. And my funniest scene is when William decided they put William in a sharing session. Someone like William should not be in a sharing session. So when he's sitting there looking at everybody else around the room, I was just sitting there shaking my head like, oh my God, I know he's going to say something foul, which he did, which I thought was hilarious, because they were just looking at him like, dude, really? Like, we're all here broken, trying to make sense of our lives, and you just took already a blue light and turned it straight black. Like, they were already depressed, and you just literally, you know, made it even worse. So that was a very funny scene for me. The famous last words in this episode is when the guy is he found, one of the henchmen or whatever found Holoris downloading the host data, how to make a host. I forgot the name of it, but the data on how to make a host or whatever. She was downloading. He busts her and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, nah. As soon as he says, I'm telling Serac, the words I'm telling, that is such a cliched, famous last word line. Like, you really think you're going someplace when you say, I'm telling. And then you turn around and turn your back on her.
You turn your back on the person that, you know, like you that.
Say,
that was a little
I'm
weird.
gonna tell.
Yeah, like, how did he get to that position?
Famous last words. And the other famous last words for it is, when Holoris says with my beautiful man, Michael Ealy. Anyway, when they're in the car, and the famous last words is, and this also comes from The Walking Dead, I'll keep you safe. How many sci-fi films have we heard, films we've seen? You already know. Famous last words.
You already know. Yes.
Keep you safe.
Nah, they ain't happening.
Yeah. And they didn't even wait. They didn't even wait. It was like, I'll keep you safe.
Boom.
The same, bro.
You already know what's gonna happen.
Basically, that's code. So if you hear somebody say, I'm telling, or I'll keep you safe, that's code for get ready. Some shit's about to blow up.
Right.
Yeah.
So I ran down mine. I don't know if you guys agree with them, but if you have any favorite lines or scenes or funny scenes or famous last words, anything like that, go, Lauren.
I will say during the William inner circle session, when his father-in-law says, did your life just happen to you or did you choose it? And then his response, if you can tell, does it matter? If you can't tell, yes. So those, and we had this conversation, Leroy and Michael had this conversation about this, because to me, I'm like, if you can't tell, does it matter? You know,
right,
at all.
Right.
But and that goes back to me wanting to still know if I'm gonna, daily task will be met, versus knowing my whole future and everything. But I thought that was a powerful line, and one of those I was like, "Ooh, okay," to the point where I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of my favorite scene of this episode, I don't know if I really had one. I just love every time Charlotte gets on screen and she has a cape. I really want, and I will be incorporating that into my wardrobe when quarantine.
Yes,
and y'all gonna see me around Columbia. Flying people with my mic, everything with my
Lauren, you gonna have that in your stand-ups?
I will.
Okay.
I'll make sure to slap it. As you can see,
I'm Lauren Thomas.
Yeah.
It's a bird, it's a plane. Oh, it's Lauren.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Nice.
That's hot.
All right,
That's
what
hot.
about you, Leroy? Real quick, favorite scene or line or
For me, it's William. William sitting down with himself. And what really got me was when William sat down, he was talking, and one of the Williams, or I think it might have been his father-in-law, said, "Please don't interrupt. It's not all about you." But everybody in the room is him. And it was like, it almost caught him off guard. He was like, "Wait, what?" And it was just, he's always been so sure himself that to see him in such doubt, and you saw different versions of his personality, and it's like, we get to see him like that, but each individual has that, where you are a son, you're a father, you're a brother, you're a nephew, you're an uncle, everybody has that. And it was so interesting to see one of our most interesting characters actually sit down and have to have a conversation with himself that, like Lauren said, determine who he was. And at the end of it, he was like, "I'm the good guy." And we're all like, bruh. It's like,
bruh. Yeah.
To me, that was, but all of it was like, it was funny, it was tragic. But when he said, "I'm the good guy," I wanted to be like, it just caught me off guard, because I was like, that was not what I expected him to say.
No.
Like, you gonna be the good guy? You killed your kid, like all your kids is dead. Your wife killed herself. You've lost your company. You only got one hand. And your best friend put you in a psych ward. Like Dolores is really his best friend.
Yeah.
And so,
that's
when you think about it, throughout his entire life, so I just, that whole scene, I was just like, this
the woman you repeatedly raped is now
yeah.
What? Only in Westworld. Hey, but so Michael, what is your favorite scene or line?
For me, my favorite scene, going back to kind of piggybacking off what you said with Dolores in the elevator, the fight scene, I thought that was really well done and well executed, and it kind of just goes to a broader picture overall of the show. The way they shot action this season in particular has been very well done. They've done a lot of wider shots and not a lot of cutting, so it doesn't take away the ferocity of the fight so much, because you can see more of the action. And I thought Tessa Thompson did a good job with that fight. With that stunt man made her look good. So yeah, that was my favorite scene.
I think she did a lot of her own stunts in that elevator, though. I didn't. Darian, maybe I'll let you go next to chime in on that. But I didn't see a lot of cuts where you would, like, you know how if somebody has their head turned or you see the back of their head kind of thing. So I think she did a lot of that. No.
I feel like she did the whole thing. Yeah, I was and that I mean, I don't have any. That was my favorite scene of the show. Because to be honest, this show, I have some issues with this episode, and a lot to do with Maeve, and just the fact that it's like, I still feel like Maeve is been chained. And then even when she had this discussion, like the opening scene of the show was her saying that she needed to be, expanded and have whatever. And then she goes into Nazi world, and it's like, I don't really see the point of, like, the whole Nazi world thing. I don't know why she has to fight those people at all, because they're a simulation. They have no effect on anything.
Exactly.
So to me, that was, I don't know
pointless.
What that whole, and then even when she does get Hector, like, I need to see a couple episodes where her and Hector go kick some ass before Hector already gets shut down. Like, he didn't even get to do anything. I mean, he just kisses, he deep throats her a little bit, and then he's dead. And
kiss was hard.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, so I was ready to be like, oh, this is gonna be the episode that I'm a hate on. But then Charlotte Hale, like the Dolores, came in with that whole action and stuff, pulled me right back into the show, starting with the elevator scene. And I'm pretty sure she did that all herself. And I think that she worked her ass off to get that scene right. I think she knew that this was, I feel like she just knew that everybody's going to see this. And like, I would 100% put her in an action movie after seeing that. It like proved to me that she can carry that for sure. Yeah,
she can.
She was in Thor.
Well, yeah, but even that though, but
different.
Seeing her in Valkyrie in Thor for
Yeah.
sure, but this one is different because like she's holding her own with the acting and everything else. She's not a side character, so this to me proved to Hollywood and everyone else you don't have like, because MIB was written badly for her. I don't think Men in Black was a very good role for her, even though her and Chris worked well together. It didn't work, but I think now they need to be able to write the right scene, script, all that kind of stuff, which would be perfect for her.
Mm-hmm.
So who's up next?
I liked Dolores's break of freedom and how she got away from Dolores's control. Pretty much, she's on her own path, and her whole just escape from Delos reminded me of in Young Justice when Aqualad and Artemis escaped the light. So that whole reminded me of that. But I like the fact that she's becoming her own person, even though she's a copy of Dolores. She's more sentient of a Charlotte type of situation. Mm-hmm. So that goes into the title of the episode, Decoherence, which is when the longer they're apart, the more they split off. So I pretty much just showed that what her driving force is, and that how she, her family is her driving force. And, now that she took that away from her, she has another agenda, which I think should probably be maybe against Dolores, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It definitely
or Serac.
Well, I think Dolores, because Dolores kind of left her to die. The security guard. She even asked her in the car. She's like, "Yo, my family. I need to get my family." And Dolores like, "Nah, that's not your family."
So it'll be interesting if she switches sides and takes Hector's place.
I think this is a perfect segue to go into the big $1 million question. Who do you think blew up Dolores and her family in that car?
This concludes our show for today. But if this is your first time visiting, then welcome aboard. The Multicultural Sci-fi Organization, or MCSFO for short, markets, promotes, discusses, and educates in the medium of science fiction and technology with a unique focus from an international perspective. We promote diversity and inclusion in the sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book genres. We would love to hear what you guys think about today's topic, or if you just want to chime in, you can post your comments on our Facebook page at facebook.com/multiculturalsci-fi.org or tweet us at twitter.com/MCSFO, or check out our new YouTube page. And please remember to follow and share this podcast on your social media pages. But I'll leave you guys with this one excerpt from our favorite line in the movie After Earth. Danger is real, but fear is a choice. Until next time, take care.